physical preparation that's important, but players don't come to a training session for the warm-up, right? They come for the football. You want to get the football going. Some of you don't have the staff or the resources to be able to do a full warm-up like that. In my view, especially with the youngest players, have something set up. As players are coming in, they go right into a game like this, an activation rondo or an activation game. We'll show you 3 separate games here. These games are all designed so that they're able to be played with anywhere from 6 to 11 players, and if you have any more, you start building 2 of them. So we have 7 players here. The first 7 players that show up at a training session, we can set up a little box, 10 by 10, with an 8 by 8 box in white flats in the middle. So let's go. First 2 defenders will be here. The defenders are going to be in the middle, only in the white box. The 5 red, you can go anywhere in the yellow, and it's just a game of keep the ball. Keep the ball. So this is a traditional activity that you would see, monkey in the middle, people would call it, but we want to try and separate monkey in the middle, just roll a ball out, let them do their thing, versus actually coaching and being a little bit more specific. So the first part is, yeah, you set it up and they start playing, they start moving. But now, as you're getting in, can you be really specific with the information that you're giving them? This is the start of the session. This is trying to, like Esteban said, ramp things up. But from not so much from a physical standpoint, more from a football standpoint. So just freeze here, just freeze here. Good. So the first thing I've noticed, and again, because we want the game to look like football, we want you to be moving a little bit more. So for the attackers, can you adjust every time you pass and receive? A little adjustment, 2 yards, 3 yards. Maybe a player can be in the middle of that white grid. The defenders, we don't want you tackling. We just want you intercepting the ball. Can the game go faster? In 1 minute, we'll switch the defenders. Dino will switch the defenders here. So go ahead, play. So we'll watch them for a little bit. Good. Good, keep it inside the grid. Keep it inside the grid. Good, and freeze. Let's just switch the defenders in there. About a minute each time. Defenders, can you really work hard to intercept this ball? Intercept this ball. A big concept that we've been using at TFC recently is this idea of you don't need to win the ball through tackles all the time. So good footwork from the defenders, closing down space, making sure that they're getting close and being good defenders without having to have big collisions. So good footwork, get close, try and win the ball on an interception just like Matthias did. Just get a little footing. Just get a little footing. So this is one type of game that we would use to start a session. Start a session this way, get players moving, quality of every pass, and freeze here. Good, so whatever your plan of your session is, you can tilt this type of activity to be more attacking or more defending. Another view that we have a little bit at TFC is it's a little bit more global, where you can coach the defenders about good footwork and getting close, but now we can also talk about the details. Every pass matters. The angle that you receive matters. What foot you play to matters. How hard you play this pass matters. And this is the same for the youngest players all the way up to the first and second team. Getting these details right is what makes a session get going. So really think about what foot are you giving it to? Are you playing with a nice rhythm? Are there some short passes? Maybe there's a window in between these defenders that you can play through. Really try and change the rhythm. Sometimes slow, sometimes fast. Sometimes short, sometimes a pass through. Here we go, play. Good. Good little exchange there. Well done, Judah. Good. Can you look around more? Can you look around before you get the ball? Can you have ideas earlier? Good. 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 And one more switch here. We'll switch defenders one more time. Again, maybe it could get stale. Maybe if you have players that are really into it, you can keep it just like this. If you want, you can add a scoring system. Now for the attackers. Anytime you can pass through the white, it's 1 point. Don't just play around. Can you play through? Can you play through the white? Okay, give it back to them. And play again. We want the game going. We want the game flowing. Okay, give it back. Yep. 10 more seconds. Can you get 2 more points? Good. Good, that's a good one. And time. Good. So just one quick example of a way to start a session. We're going to quickly, the same setup, same 7 players are just going to move into this new grid, and we're going to give a new concept. So maybe that's just an attacking session. We're going to continue the same thing here, and then we're going to go to one more. 5v2 in one half of our grid here. The attackers, if you can make 3 passes, can you then find a pass to a player that's receiving into this half on the move? So we don't want Daniel already standing in here. We want Daniel finding ways to turn his hips. Maybe you play a pass through this window, and now we all follow and play in here. Make sense? So this might be a session where you're trying to get some attacking movements of some wingers or some strikers that are looking to get in behind. And this might be a way to start a session that way. Here we go, play. After 3, 4, 5 passes, then we're going to try and find a player in the move. Good. And we all join. Again, defenders, we're just trying to win it through interceptions. Good, and as they're playing, again, this concept of winning the ball through interceptions, it's so that the attackers actually have a chance to get going. Trying to find a balance, because if you let the defenders go 100% in this, you might not get the actions that you want. So trying to dial back a little bit what the defenders are doing so that you get these attacking actions is an important thing in our way of working. Keep on going here, keep on going. We'll switch the defenders a couple times in here, then we'll show our last one. Good. Kurban, maybe you're outside there, right? Can you really think about the angle and the timing to get into that other half? The angle and timing to get into that other half. Don't go too early. Good, new ball, new ball. Another important thing is that we have a staff that's ready, engaged, ready to play the balls in right away. We don't want to waste any time. We believe that there's a finite time that you have to develop players and work with players. In my view, you want as much time playing football as possible. New balls in right away. They're engaged, they're playing 1 minute of hard work, and then we get new defenders. Okay, new defenders. We'll go 2 more minutes in here. Good. Maybe a little bit early, Daniel. Can you turn your hips and run through? Good. Good, and freeze it. Another big thing for rondos like this. These little toe pokes or flicks, they're not real football. They happen very few times in a game, so we're really specific on, can you move your feet? Can you adjust your feet as you're getting that ball from Matthias? Instead of just toe poke, can you maybe get a little bit closer, catch, and play? And this little detail of technical excellence, every single pass has to be at the top level so that the session looks like football. As we're moving from this first activation activity into what Tino's going to do later, we want the football details already there. So no toe pokes, no flicks, real passes inside of the foot. Here we go. Good. Catch, play. Catch, play. Find a rhythm. Okay, give it back, yes. Don't go too early, Judah. Don't go too early. Give it back. We want the attackers. New ball. Come on, Deshani. Next one. Good. Can you find someone on the move? Okay. Yes, who's on the move? Yes, okay. No problem. New ball. Good idea, Judah. One more time. Don't go too early. Not too early, Dimitri. Yes, and we're through. Good, and time. Good. We're just going to come over our final little game here. Let's bring the balls over. Good. Again, same setup. But if an extra player has come in, you can make it a 6v2. You can make it a 5v3. I wouldn't get too caught up in the numbers. You're going to have to adjust the space depending on the level of your players. Adjust the numbers as players can come in. You can change the size. Don't be afraid to move a cone. I need an extra 2 yards. I think that's real coaching, when you're able to see that the game doesn't look the way it's supposed to and make the adjustment as we go. For the defenders now, we can give them a little bit more of an objective. So you might say in those 2 first games, it looks a little bit boring for the defenders. I disagree. I think there's some good defending actions where you can get out and intercept balls. But in this game now, if you win the ball, you get 1 point if you pass through the gates, but 2 points if you dribble through the gates. Attackers, the same thing. Quality of every pass, no flicks, no backdoors. Here we go. Catch, play. Can the defenders work together to make it more difficult? New ball's coming in. Can the defenders work together to make it more difficult? Can we get a foot on it? 1 minute of work. Good, new ball. Again, so for demonstration purposes, I've made this grid a little bit big. So the defenders aren't getting enough success. So already, as we freeze and swap the defenders, no problem, we'll just bring these in 3 yards. Cool. Now, let's play within these grids. And can we move those 3 up as well? Much tighter. Now, theoretically, the defenders should get a little bit more success. Again, it's in the flow of things, it's making changes on the move, it's making sure that there's a balance between attackers and defenders, and we can continue. Here we go. Defenders, can you get close enough to get a ball through these gates? Pass through is 1, dribble through is 2. Come on, come on! Okay, 1 point defenders. Here we go, go again. Good. Little adjustments from the attackers. Little adjustments from the attackers. How many times can we go inside? Yes. Good, good. 30 more seconds. Good stuff, guys. Well done. Good, and we'll switch the after Juna. Yes, score. Ah, well done. Here, now we'll switch the defenders. Quickly switch. We'll go 1 more set, and then I'll just speak to the coach and stand in. Good. Can we play inside? In these games, we don't want just playing around the outside. We try and play inside. Be brave. Be brave. Good pass, Daniel. Good. Good. Yes. Defenders, can you work together? Closer. Closer. No back heels, Dimitri. Sort your feet out earlier. Sort your feet out earlier. Good, and time there. Time there. Good, guys. Just take a little rest because you're going to be here for another hour. Just to wrap it up, guys. So 3 different ideas here. There's hundreds of other ones. I heard a question to Esteban, some sort of library. I don't have a library. I just see a field, usually a rectangle or a square. I have an attacking group and a defending group. They each have some sort of objective. You have an idea in your mind of what you want the session to look like. And you try and get some concepts out that might appear in the rest of the session. So that's my time for the on-field portion. If you guys have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
All right, thank you so much, Yianni. All right, let's see.